Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Tyler Simone and I'm so happy you're here. So, I recently relaunched my YouTube channel after being away for a while, and I felt it was only right to catch everyone up. Some of you have been subscribed since I was in college, and some of you are new friends to my channel. Either way, I felt like it made sense to do a rundown of who I am and how I got here because there's been quite a few things that have changed. Let's get into it. So, my name is Tyler. I am 28 years old. I am a Gemini. We are the best of the best. I was born in Long Beach, raised in the IE, and I am now a digital marketing manager, but it's been quite the journey getting here. I will skip all of the minor details and I'll just give you the necessary ones so you get the idea. I graduated from high school and San Francisco State was the college that I chose. It was close enough to home, but not too close, if you know what I mean. I really loved the energy of the Bay Area after visiting on a college trip, and that's how I knew. I did go in as a business major because originally I wanted to be a sports agent. I've always been an athlete, so it made sense to me back then. But I got into the prereq classes for business, i.e. math, and I was not having fun. Not having fun at all. The variables overwhelmed me and I need to see things and read things multiple times before it all clicks, so I just couldn't keep up, and being in those classes completely stressed me out, to say the very least. But I did buy the books, I went to class, and I really tried to make it work. During my third year of college, I was unexpectedly signed to run track for the women's track team. And I say unexpectedly because I had never run track in my life, but like I mentioned, I've always been an athlete, and when I got to college, I took full advantage of the gym on campus and the bleachers. So I would run bleachers a few times a week, and the track team was out there from time to time. I would stay out of their way, just doing my own thing, and one gloomy San Francisco afternoon, the head coach came over to me and asked me a few questions, one of them being, would I be interested in practicing with the team? I could not believe my ears, but I did see this as a challenge and a great opportunity, so I said yes, and in no time, I was officially signed on as a long and triple jumper. After joining the team, I met this lovely teammate of mine who would talk about how much fun she was having as a broadcasting major. Everything she said sounded magical, and I was hooked. From news writing, media performance, TV production, it sounded like somewhere I needed to be. So one day I just decided that I was going to switch my major once and for all from business to broadcasting, and that's where it all began. I loved my new major. I was learning about editing, producing audio and video, how to conduct interviews, how to host a radio show, all of it. I was also a reporter for the school's news station. I had always been someone who loved taking pictures and recording videos with my friends and my family, but I really began to fall in love with media in college. So much so that I used my financial aid money to buy my first camera, the one and only Canon T6i. As you can imagine, I started recording everything: my track practices, days and nights at home, my radio shows, my days at school, and what I really wanted was to document what it was like to be a broadcasting major because I hadn't really seen anyone do it. So vlogging became a part of my everyday life. When it came time for graduation, I was super excited because I snagged a paid internship at Dr. Phil in LA. I moved back to the IE with my mom after graduation, and I waited for my production internship to start. And when it did, I was commuting to and from LA every single day, on weekdays of course. It was about an hour and a half drive to work, back and forth without traffic, but it was so worth it because I really enjoyed it. I was assisting production assistants with creating shows and doing a lot of talent management, so I was in charge of making sure the guests on the show had what they needed. Luckily, I did have a few friends from college in LA who were also doing the internship, so I would stay with them from time to time while working, and that really helped to build those connections and save gas, of course. While working at Dr. Phil, I also started doing entertainment journalism for AfterBuzz TV, which is a network where hosts cover TV shows, movies, and red carpets in LA. It was perfect, and I felt like that's exactly where I needed to be. Eventually, my internship ended and I got a job at The Real where I was doing talent management and just lending a helping hand where I was needed, which is how production goes a lot of the time. My time ended there and I got a job at Entertainment Tonight as a media assistant. So I would organize the show footage that came in, transcribe it for the directors and producers, and travel to offsite shoots to assist the directors and the producers. I have a good friend who was living in LA at the time, and a room at the house she was living in opened up. So I moved into the trap house where I lived with 4 other women, which sounds crazy, right? It was the best time ever. There was music, late night talks, parties, and weekend adventures. It felt like college part 2, honestly. I was still vlogging at this time, just enjoying my life, working and creating content. The videos from that time are still up, by the way. As you know, in 2020, the pandemic hit and everything changed. We were all instructed to stay home. It was really a time of reflection for me. I didn't know what would come of the entertainment industry. I didn't know if I wanted to pivot. I just had no idea. At some point, something switched in me and I didn't feel like living in LA was right for me anymore. I was questioning my purpose, my career, and felt like it was time for me to take a step back. So I did move back in with my mom and I felt pretty lost, honestly, as far as my career goes. I couldn't get a job for the longest time, but eventually I got a part-time job at Michael's, which is an arts and crafts store. And it wasn't what I wanted to do, of course, but bills had to be paid. So I became a framer at Michael's and I tried really hard not to get down on myself during this time, but it was really, really hard at times. But I did keep applying to media jobs that were remote, but it just wasn't happening for me. So I went on to be a car sales assistant in a call center, which was a very repetitive job. And I knew I didn't want to be there long. And by the graces of the universe, my mom knew someone who knew someone that was looking for a digital marketing manager. Now, I had been the social media manager for the college radio station, and I had been creating content on YouTube for years. So although I had never done that exact job before, I knew it was something that I could learn. So I applied and I got the job. It was an adjustment at first because it is a remote position, but it does involve media and that's my thing. So that is the role that I currently have and I have learned so much. I started the role while living at home with my mom, but started to feel like I needed to spread my wings and fly. So I ended up getting my own apartment, which I love. Getting this apartment that I'm currently in is wild because I knew when I came in for a tour that this was where I needed to be. The vibe was right, the location was perfect, and it just felt good being here. And being here for a little bit, I decided that I wanted to get a pet. A dog seemed like too much of a hassle, so I decided to adopt a kitten. I saw her pop up on the adoption website and I just had to have her. She is so cute. Her name is Sloan and she was only 8 weeks old when I got her. She is my partner in crime. I really love having her here. So here we are. Currently, I am a digital marketing manager for a nonprofit organization where I create the weekly newsletter, I do the email marketing, and I am the voice on all of their social media channels. I also started mentoring this year, which has been a huge goal of mine. I am a mentor to college students who are preparing to graduate and are working on preparing for the job world. I'll do a video about that very soon. I did start my yoga teacher training to be certified in yoga because I truly love yoga. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see me standing on my head most days. I mean, it really calms the mind. My training is currently on hold because I have been preparing to launch something new, a podcast, because I want to take my content creation to the next level and it feels like the next step for me. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for spending this time with me. It's been fun. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Be sure to leave a comment below before you go and follow me on Instagram so we can stay connected. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.